नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं हिल्स लाइव और आज हमारे साथ है मजांगब्ली केम्प्राई जो रिसेंटली जो गुवाहाटी के डॉन बॉस्को यूनिवर्सिटी से जो इंग्लिश ऑनर में मास्टर डिग्री किया है तो उनमें उन्होंने गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट पाया है। और उसी के साथ साथ वो गोल्ड मेडल मिलने के साथ साथ हमारा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक बहुत ज़्यादा एक रौनक है। तो इस वक्त हमारे साथ है मजांगब्ली केम्प्राई जो दाउदुंग से है, जो दाउदुंग माहुर से है। और उसका पिताजी आप सबको पता होगा बाबुल केम्प्राई जो एक सोशल वर्कर है। और वो लोग दो बहनें हैं। तो उसी के साथ जो है आज हम बात करेंगे कि उसका जो इन जर्नी पे जो जो इन जो राइट फ्रॉम स्कूल लेवल से लेकर के जो मास्टर डिग्री तक उसका जर्नी कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा। जो पहले आपसे आपका बारे में हम जानना चाहते हैं, आप कहाँ से हैं, क्या है क्या
जी हाय, मेरा नाम Mjangblee Kemprai है। My name is Mjangblee Kemprai. I'm a resident of Assam, Dima Hasao, Mahur, and by God's grace, I've recently completed my Masters in English, securing the gold medal in Assam Don Bosco University.
अच्छा, तो आपका स्कूलिंग कहाँ शुरू हुआ? राइट फ्रॉम स्टार्टिंग जैसे प्राइमरी लेवल से शुरुआत कहाँ हुआ था?
I think since nursery,
Okay.
my first schooling experience was here in Mahur itself.
Okay.
I studied in Step by Step High School Mahur, a very small school, but a very close to my heart and very close to the people of Mahur, for the students and for the bright young achievers it has produced. I think Step by Step was my foundation. Like since the very beginning, I always say this wherever I go, but Step by Step has been my foundation. The teachers who taught me, our headmistress who has always been so inspiring and always talking us up to do better, to dream bigger. So I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to Mrs. Sheila Lindo, our headmistress as well. She holds a very special place in all of our students' heart, and I give a very big part of my success to her.
Up to
Up to class 10.
class 10.
Yeah.
You have studied in Mahur.
Yes.
After that,
After that, I was actually planning to study in Guwahati. However, I had some health issues, so I joined Haflong Don Bosco Higher Secondary School. Yeah, so the experience there has also been a very beautiful one. I think my whole journey of Don Bosco actually started there. The teachers were great. The friendship I had there were also great, and I think everything there as a whole has been great. However, my interest was English since the beginning. I feel like as a Dimasa woman, as a Dimasa girl, since we grow up, we have been listening to stories, Carmen. We always listen to stories from our grandparents, from our parents. So English has always been my priority. However, when I had, during my class 12 and class 11, I also had subjects like economics, education. And I feel like I fumbled there a little bit. Maybe I could have done better. However, yeah, everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I completed my higher secondary at Don Bosco Higher Secondary
from
School.
Haflong. And after that, you have to you went in Guwahati for graduation.
Yeah.
Then,
I actually looked for other universities as well, which would be well suited. However, our batch, and everyone must remember the 2020 scene where the COVID-19 happened and all of us were in lockdown. So I was looking for universities, and I happened to stumble upon Don Bosco University, again through my friends and through my school headmistress again. She actually recommended the university, saying it's a private space, you'll have good environment to study there. And it's not only about studies, right? Our whole development as human beings happen holistically. So she suggested it would be a good place, and after talking out with my parents, with my friends, with relatives, we actually decided I think Don Bosco would be a good option. So I went for my bachelor's in Don Bosco. And again, master's too there.
have you expect that like gold medal will get achieved in master degree?
Actually, no, because I've always been not a very bright student. I had my strengths, again, like English, like I've been talking about. However, I was not good at maths. I was very bad at maths. Again, history, I could not memorize facts. I had problems with facts. So during my bachelor's, again, because of my COVID-19, I was not really in the zone to study. However, my parents, my teachers, my tuition teachers from high school, they've always told me that you have the potential. You're just too lazy. You have the potential. And then during my master's too, I don't think I was very serious about, getting gold medal, doing this, doing that. I just wanted to live life. And then during master's, during my first semester, I happened to like the subjects a lot.
Okay.
And then after that, it continued like that.
Now what's your planning upcoming times to?
Okay, so I am actually thinking about cracking my net for JRF,
Yes.
if that is possible.
Okay.
I've appeared, I think, in my third semester,
Mm.
and I did crack it. However, I was only able to crack it for PhD.
Mm.
So I'm aiming, or maybe I'm looking forward to cracking the JRF. Maybe go for the research line and pursue my PhD. And God willing, however the plan goes.
सबका भी एक अलग अलग सपना होता है. Every have its own dreams. So if we talk about your dreams, then what you say?
I think as a child, I always wanted to fly, like freedom.
Okay.
Like flying, I've always seen flying as a metaphor to freedom, and I've always wanted to be a pilot. And then, I don't know, some peer pressure or whatever, they were like, you becoming a pilot, I don't think it's possible. So I thought, okay, then maybe I could become an air hostess and fly.
Okay.
But then again, as I grew up, I realized that wasn't really my thing. And as I am right now at present, I think I would really, really love to teach. Because teaching, as I see, is a very
Yes,
noble profession.
your own family, your mother also teaches.
Yeah,
One of those.
My mother is a teacher, and I've been following her to school since I was a child. So I think teaching is something that I'm very willing to do.
Okay. Most of the people were not thinking that I'll become the teachers and one or all. So every person has another. Your mother and father, how you support you in studies?
I think my parents have always been the type of people who wants to see their children happy. If I want something, even if it's not according to how they wish it were, they'll still be happy. For example, I said I want to pursue arts. My parents were like, okay, because in this part of the country, like basically the whole country, doesn't look up to art as much as they look up to science or commerce or stuff like that. But my parents were always happy, telling me to follow my heart, do what I want to do. And then again, I didn't score as good as I did in masters during my bachelor's, and they were happy. I think throughout my life, I've always I've always realized that my parents are gonna be happy for me, no matter how I perform, because I am their child. Even my small achievements are big for them. And during my masters, when I first got my award for securing the highest CGPA in my first semester, when I called them and told them about it, I thought they're gonna be so happy, and they were. But there was no difference between the happiness they showed when I got first or when I just barely passed. But then, through time, I realized that it is my responsibility as a child to give them the happiness they deserve, because they've always been supportive. They told me I can study what I want to study. They told me I can pursue my professional career however however I wish to do it. So yeah, I think they've been my pillar, like my backbone throughout my journey since the very beginning, like since my birth, I would say, since class nursery till now. I think they've taken care of me to the maximum.
Okay. जैसे उनके साथ हम बात की कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने काफ़ी ज़्यादा हमें बताया कि उसका लाइफ जो है प्राइमरी राइट फ्रॉम प्राइमरी टू अप टू मास्टर डिग्री उसका जर्नी कैसा था. But now I want to know that any kind of memories for you for childhood anyway. To Mahur में almost up to class 10 you have studied in Mahur.
Yeah.
Some memories is that?
Yeah, there's a certain memory. Since this whole interview is related to my academics, I'll speak something on the academic memory I have from school.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she remembers me or not, but Miss Esther, she used to teach English at school. I think I was in class 9 or 10. So we were already done with our half-yearly exams, and we were getting our papers and whatsoever, our marks. And then she called me. She was like, I read your letter writing and it's really good. I think you should do it. I think you're really good in English. And I don't know why. Till then, I was really blank to what I want to follow after my class 10. However, that very moment when she said, I really like your letter writing, I really like your essays, I like the way you write your answers, it motivated me in ways I cannot explain in words. It was such a small moment, but it impacted my life so greatly. And I think whatever I pursued after that is because of what she said to me that day.
Okay. तो अभी फैमिली से हाउ फैमिली हैज सपोर्टेड यू, फैमिली ने आपको कैसे कैसा सपोर्ट करा इस टू इन जो अप टू राइट फ्रॉम नर्सरी टू मास्टर डिग्री तक? और शायद आगे भी करते रहेंगे. So without support of family or
I think my parents, again, as I've said,
Mm.
more than financially, of course, finance plays a very important role in
Definitely.
education.
Yes.
But the emotional support they've provided me with is what I cherish the most. They've never said you cannot do it. They've never said you're asking too much. They've never said she's better than you, why can't you be like her? They've never ever said that. Even when I was a child, I had problems going to school because I didn't like walking. I didn't want to commute to school on foot. So even when we did not possess private vehicles, we always had autos to drop us to bring us back. My mother had always, she's always been the constant support, because even through tuitions, I'm this kind of person who, people think I'm naive, and maybe I am. And my parents have taken care of me in such a way that I do not need to face the world by myself. For example, our tuitions gets over very late. My mother would wait for me outside the tuition place to bring me home. She would wait for me there the whole time, doing nothing, just waiting for me while I'm studying inside. And I think all those small sacrifices my parents have made, my father who works endlessly to pay for our, educational finance and everything. I think all of it has come together to create whatever it is right now.
Okay. तो ये जो गोल्ड मेडल्स जो आपने मिला, so credit should be for whom?
I think first of all myself,
Okay.
because I worked really really hard.
Okay.
People might say, think it's selfish to do so, but I think I have worked hard.
Yes, yes,
I have
definitely.
worked hard, I've worked without sleeping, I've studied hard.
Mm.
But then again, nothing can be achieved by just one person, right?
Yes, yes.
I think everybody's small efforts, like my parents, my friends who has discussed the topics with me in colleges, my friends who has said, get up, you have to study, or things, small, little things like that. I think the credit goes to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. Even the elders from my village, whenever I come home, they're like, "We expect a lot from you. You and your friends, your generation, you will be a changing, a changing era for us. An era, a youth, a generation that will take us forward in terms of education, in terms of development, and all that." And I think the very expectation that everyone had on me motivated me a lot. It did put pressure on me a little bit. However, pressures aren't always bad. So that pressure helped me work hard.
Okay. करियर शुरू करने से पहले फिर एंड का भी कहीं ना कहीं एक रीजन होता है सबका अलग अलग. तो इस इन दौरान के दौरान आपने क्या एक्सपीरियंस पाया है और लोगों के लिए क्या मैसेज है?
So according to my experience, following what you love is important, but sometimes things you love aren't always made for you. Just like right now, I've always dreamt of studying English. However, in different cases, subjects you love might not always be for you.
जैसे कि
It might not,
कहीं
yeah.
ना कहीं ये वाला प्रोफेशन लेके कहीं में खुद गलती ना है, ये
Exactly.
वो फील नहीं आना चाहिए.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like when you pursue something because people ask you to do it, when you find faults in the way, you'll point at others and you'll feel let down. However, if you chose the path, even if there are hardships on the way, you'll find motivation, you'll find a way to get out of there because you chose the path, right? However, sometimes even if you choose what you love, things don't always work out. And I feel like flexibility in those cases is very important because we have read literature, we have read stories. Life isn't a fairy tale. Things happen, accidents happen, mistakes happen. So sometimes I think you also have to be flexible. For example, now I really want to become a professor. However, if things go wrong, I cannot crack my net, or something happens and I happen to not be able to pursue PhD.
Definitely.
I think I shouldn't feel let down because of that. Life has always been crooked. It's never straight. So I feel like having confidence in yourself that you'll do well no matter where you go is also very important.
वो डेफिनेटली वो लग भी आपको फेवर करना पड़ेगा. तो व्हाट यू वांट टू गिफ्ट टू द entire upcoming generation or youth students from your side message for?
Okay. So I think as communities
Yes,
who live in Northeast India, I think we have very rich culture.
Yes.
We have the Dimasa culture. I belong to the Dimasa community. The Dimasa culture, the Mar, the cookies, a lot of different cultures here. But I've found through my experience that not a lot of people know about it. I've been to Nepal for my conference where I presented a paper on the Dimasa ethos. And then I realized they don't even know that Dima Hasao people exist. They were very blank about it. And I feel like as individuals, if we pursue education, as individuals who excel in subjects like literature, history, studying, whatever fields, political leaders do their own job at taking the country or taking the state or taking the district forward. But I think as individuals who are educated, we can also play small roles which later can become can create a very big impact. For example, now I'm not saying that you have to do this or you have to work for the community or it's not that. I think as individuals, as residents of Dima Hasao, I feel like it's our responsibility to look to create your own identity outside as well. Like for example, research paper on Dima Hasao culture. We have a lot of songs, we have a lot of stories, documenting them, researching on them. I think it would be a very good contribution to the future generation. And as a student who studied literature, I feel like even students now who are pursuing literature, studying English, I feel like the scope is very large. We have so much of unexplored gems, we have so much of unexplored topics, and I feel like students right now, I think it's high time for us to take on the role to bring it forward and to make it reach the world.
So, and lastly, I want to know you something for you. English जान के क्या कर लेगा ना? What to do? English क्या है? English तो डॉक्टर बन नहीं सकता. So in English में भी English नॉट में भी सम आपको कुछ आपका लाइफ को कहीं एक रूट नहीं लेके जा सकता. So for that person, for that parents, what do you want to say? That?
I think I'd like to go back to what decolonizing English talks about. Like English is a language which we inherited or maybe we took from the Britishers.
Yes, yes.
However, right now English is a very important as language that we use for communication.
Communicate. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And to reach globally too,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Now we think English is not important. Some people think that. However, I feel like English should not be seen as something as something which is not good or unessential, because I think English is a very useful tool for us. Language itself is a tool.
Yes.
So we can use English to promote our own culture. We can use English to spread our ideas. Now, for example, I respect all languages. If you write in Hindi, it is very possible that only people in the country in India would be able to see or read your ideas, know about your ideas. However, if you formulate your thoughts in English language, the whole world will know about it. And it's not about the language you use; it's about the your ideas, the ideologies you follow, the things you want to promote. If you promote it in English, it's not about the language; it's about the reach. You reach bigger audience, and if you reach bigger audience, you have bigger impact. I think it's all about that. So it is. I've seen the comments on Facebook on the Haflong Crown post, and everyone congratulating me. Since it's impossible for me to reach out to everyone and thank them, I just wanted to put forward my gratitude of all your well wishes. I want to thank each and every one of you for wishing me well and my family well. Thank you.
Okay, बहुत थैंक यू, आपने हमारे लिए टाइम निकला है मजांगली. तो ये था मजांगली का जो अचीवमेंट, जो उन्होंने रिसेंटली गोल्ड मेडल स्कोर किया है जो डॉन बॉस्को यूनिवर्सिटी गुवाहाटी से. तो उन्होंने काफ़ी ज़्यादा उसकी जो इन दौरान जो राइट फ्रॉम नर्सरी से लेकर के जो मास्टर डिग्री तक उसका जो बोला कि उसका जो प्रोफेशन में उसका लाइफ में एक टीचर बनना चाहता है. नॉट ओनली कॉलेज का टीचर या फिर कोई बड़ा प्रोफेसर, जो भी एक टीचर उसका एक उन्होंने अपने आप को एक चुन लिया कि आई हैव टू बिकम टीचर. सो मैं विश करता हूँ कि आपका जो ड्रीम है वो फुलफिल हो.
थैंक यू सो मच.
आपने हमारे लिए बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम दिया. सो आई होप आने वाला समय में आपका जो भी आपका जो इच्छा है होने का या फिर बनने का, जो वो पूरा हो. तो ये था कि मजामिल जो उन्होंने क्या कहा कि आप लोग शायद सब ने बहुत कुछ इस चीज़ उसकी बात को सुनेगा और सुनने का बाद बहुत कुछ जानने को मौका मिला होगा. सो सबका एक अलग अलग कॉन्सेप्ट होता है, अलग अलग एक दुनिया होता है. मजांगली ने अपना एक दुनिया बना के रखा है जहाँ पे उनका एक जहाँ शुरुआत में कहा कि वांट टू फ्लाई, शिवन में भी फ्लाई, वो एक उड़ना चाहता है. तो शायद उड़ने का मौका भी आने वाला समय में उनको मिलेगा. तो थैंक यू, आपने बहुत हमारे लिए समय दिया.